Good morning, family. So it is my last day in Gaborone, maybe. And today I'm planning to take a bus to Maun, which is a city that is more north in Botswana. But I am having a little bit of trouble contacting the bus company to book a ticket. I don't have any airtime to call. I only have data. I tried to use the hotel's phone, but they said, I don't know, it just didn't work. And so now I'm kind of freaking out. I have to check out in 2 hours. I don't have a bus ticket. So I think I'm gonna go to the mall and get some airtime so I can make calls and call this bus and see if I can leave tonight. The bus is at 7:30 in the evening. But the weird thing is what was I gonna say? Okay, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyways, yes, the bus is at 7:30 tonight. But if I can't book this bus tonight, then there's another bus company that leaves at 4:30 in the morning. But if I do take the second bus company that leaves in the morning, I would have to book another night at this hotel, which I would prefer not to do. But if it happens, it happens. So I need to go to the mall and see if I can call these people and book a bus ticket because either way, I have to check out at 11 and it's about 8:30 in the morning. So let's go. As I just had a very enjoyable lunch or brunch, whatever you want to call it. 10 out of 10. The food was absolutely delicious and the customer service was absolutely amazing. They checked on me multiple times throughout my meal. They didn't even have to do that, but that's a great recommendation, a great place that I would recommend rather. So the Daily Grind in Gaborone, check it out. Gaborone is a clean city. In the center, there's great infrastructure. It's calm. I like the vibes in the city.
5, another one for half 6, 8,
Yeah.
and here half 8.
I was lucky
Maybe
enough
half
to get
five,
an
half
in
six.
driver who actually used to
Yeah.
work at the
So
bus
there's a
rank,
bus rank
so
that
he
you
knew
go
exactly
to.
where to take me and exactly how much the ticket was. The bus left at 6:30 that night, so I was able to check out of my hotel room and just hang out at the hotel until it was time to take me to the bus rank. He also dropped me off there. He was so helpful and so kind. It was an overnight bus to Maun, and I ended up getting to Maun at about 7 o'clock in the morning.
It should be on the left side, just straight. All right, guys, so I have made it to Maun, and I actually have to leave in like 30 minutes for a tour. And you might be wondering, why did you book a tour 30 minutes after you just got to the city? Well, what had happened was my tour was actually scheduled for tomorrow, but I am a solo traveler. That's a tricky part about being a solo traveler. And they told me they needed at least 2 people to go on the tour. And so I had to change the date until today. So I literally just got to the city and I have to leave in 30 minutes to go on an 8-hour tour to the Delta, which I am really excited about, but I'm also very tired. So yeah, it is what it is. I only have 2 days here in Maun before I go to Kasane. So let's just go on this tour, have a great time, and then tomorrow I'm gonna pass out. So I'm in the back of the safari, vehicle, and we're about to leave for the tour to go to the Delta. Super excited!
Imagine a place where a massive river flows, not to the ocean, but to the heart of a desert, creating one of Africa's most spectacular wildlife sanctuary. Welcome to Botswana's Okavango Delta, a natural wonder so extraordinary that it's been called the jewel of the Kalahari. The Okavango Delta is one of the world's largest inland river deltas, covering an area roughly the size of Switzerland. But here's what makes it truly unique. Instead of flowing into the sea like most rivers, the Okavango Delta spreads out into the Kalahari Desert, creating a massive oasis of waterways, inlands, and floodplains. This incredible ecosystem is formed when seasonal floods from Angola's highlands travel over 1,000 miles down the Okavango River, finally fanning out into this pristine wilderness. The water arrives during Botswana's dry season, creating a life-giving paradise that supports an astounding array of wildlife. The delta is essentially a giant natural irrigation system with crystal clear channels weaving between the thousands of islands. Some of these islands are permanent, while others appear and disappear with the seasonal floods. This constant change creates a dynamic landscape that's different every time you visit. The Okavango Delta is home to some of Africa's most spectacular wildlife concentrations. Picture elephants wading through chest-deep water, lions adapting to hunt in wetlands, and leopards lounging in sausage trees along the water's edge. You'll find over 400 bird species here, including the magnificent African fish eagle, colorful bee eaters, and rare species like the Pell's fishing owl. The waterways teem with hippos and crocodiles, while the surrounding grasslands host vast herds of buffalo, zebra, and various antelope species. What makes the wildlife viewing here so special is the contrast. Where else can you see elephants swimming between the islands in the morning and spot a desert adapted species in the afternoon? The animals here have uniquely adapted to this water and desert environment, creating behaviors you won't see anywhere else in Africa. First, this is one of the last truly pristine wilderness areas on Earth. The Okavango Delta remains largely untouched by human development, giving you an authentic African safari experience. That's what's becoming increasingly rare. The variety of activities is unmatched. You can glide silently through papyrus-lined channels in a traditional Mokoro dugout canoe, getting up close to wildlife without the noise of any engines. Take the scenic helicopter flights for breathtaking aerial views of the delta's intricate patterns, or go on walking safaris to track animals on foot. The Delta offers safari experiences for every comfort level, from luxury lodges to world-class service to mobile camping expeditions that will let you sleep under pristine African stars. After an hour drive through the safari, we were finally arriving at the Okavango Delta, and its beauty was magnificent to see in person for the first time. There were hippo footprints directly outside of our safari van, and the hippos were grazing in the water right before our eyes.
Hippo footprints.
Yeah.
No, I can zoom in. Yeah. So the hippos, they're not violent if they have space, if we stay far away.
Sorry?
Are they violent?
No. Those are good guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sometimes they do, but not. Even in the family, one can be violent, but others they are just.
Right.
Yeah. But they are just good guys. You see, even there is a hippo.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay, so all the way out there.
Yeah. So we just going like.
All right, guys, so we are out here at the Delta, and we are waiting for the canoe guy to come pick us up. It's so beautiful out here. There's hippos behind us. We saw impalas, wildebeest, baboons. It's a vibe. It's definitely a vibe. I'm not even tired anymore. I'm just excited at this point. Like, this is such a cool experience. We didn't know the hippos were out there.
Very noisy.
Yeah. They're all scattered. You see their heads sticking out. Oh, buffalo. Oh, way on the other side.
This is your first time on this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this transport, we call it Mokoro.
Mokoro, okay.
Mokoro.
Mm-hmm.
So it is made out of fiber or polyester.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit wobbly and it's light in weight.
Okay.
So if you are in the boat, do not make like sudden movements.
Sudden movements, right.
So if you want to take pictures, let me know so that I can start the boat and then take the picture.
Okay, sure.
From here to the campsite is only about an hour.
Okay.
Depending on what we come across. So about the animals, I'm not gonna promise you to see a lot because we'll be on the water. So sometimes we could see like antelopes and hippos.
Okay.
So any questions that you want to ask, please feel free. The more you ask, is the more you get to know.
Okay. Thank you.
Any question? Okay. Okay, yeah, perfect.
It felt surreal just floating along the delta, seeing the hippos pop their heads in and out of the water. There seemed to be a relationship of mutual respect between the guides and the hippos. The hippos were okay with being observed as long as we didn't get too close.
Another yawn. Oh, it's a big one. Yeah.
As we were cruising along the delta, I saw hippos, buffaloes, and even elephants. But these three animals often rival for territory. The hippo is very territorial and usually wins against fights with the buffalo. So they try to stay on opposite sides of the delta just to maintain the peace and their own safety. Hundreds, wow. We just stepped off of our Mokoro canoe after an incredible morning gliding through the crystal clear channels of the Okavango Delta. The silence of the water, the gentle splash of the pole, the feeling of floating through this liquid wilderness that was pure magic. But now, everything changes. We're stepping onto solid ground, onto one of the Delta's many islands, and suddenly we're in a completely different world. It was now time for our guided walk through the Okavango Safari. Our guide made sure to keep an eye out for any lions because we were already in their territory, and he instructed us to follow in a single file line. It's very important for us to stay alert. The difference hits you immediately. On the water, we're observers, floating peacefully through the animals' world. Here, we're participants. We're in their territory now, on foot and vulnerable. As we continued walking, I was just amazed by how much our guide could read from the environment. Here, you can see him showing us elephant tracks, stretch marks on trees, different bird calls. It was like he was reading a book written in the landscape. This is why I fell in love with walking safaris during this trip. In a vehicle, you're looking for the big five, but on foot, you become a part of the ecosystem. You start understanding how everything connects, and honestly, it changed how I see wilderness completely. Our guide even taught us about the animal behavior in this region, such as how the male hippos spin their tails when they're pooping to spray their dung, called dung showering, and this is one of the many ways they mark their territory, as hippos are very territorial animals. However, this is only the male hippos and not the female hippos. The male hippos can spread their dung up to 10 feet in all directions.
No, I can't tell.
My favorite part of the walk is when our guide found wild sage and gave some to us to crush in our fingers and smell. He said that it was used as an insect repellent. They also use it for stomach problems, to make teas, as well as other plants within the safari. It's amazing to be able to see and learn about local traditional uses of the medicine and the plants that they have available to them. As we were walking through this amazing wilderness, our guide continued to point out things to us. The whole experience was like having a master class in reading the safari. I was learning so much just from watching how he moved and what
So
he
that
was
hippo
looking
lost the
for.
fight.
Every single step revealed something new about
He
this
lost the fight.
ecosystem. And then this happened. We stumbled across this massive hippo skull. Our guide said the hippo probably died from a fight with a buffalo, and I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. It is so massive. He was explaining how hippos have one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, around 18,000 pounds per square inch. It was probably from an older hippo, and because it is so bleached white, it's probably been sitting here for years. It was such a surreal moment finding this piece of Delta story just laying here in the bush. After an hour walk in the scorching hot sun, it was finally time for us to return to our area and eat lunch. He bought us Nando's. It wasn't anything local or traditional, but it was still delicious. And then we got back on the canoe to head back to our safari jeep. Guys, so the tour was amazing. I just got back home, but the fun is not over yet because I have to find some food for dinner. I only had like 2 eggs for breakfast. I had 1 sandwich for lunch, but I need some food for dinner. The transportation situation in Maun is interesting. They told me that I have to walk to the main road to find a taxi. They don't use Uber in Botswana. They don't use Bolt in Botswana. They use InDrive. But even on InDriver, I haven't been able to find a ride. So I'm trying to meet up with this woman on InDrive because she said she doesn't know where I'm at. So let's just see if I can get a ride to the store to get some food. It's gonna be quite the adventure. I am exhausted. My feet hurt. I just want to shower and go to bed, but I have to figure out this situation. Today was an insane day. But it was so beautiful. Everything worked out beautifully. I can't believe I literally got to town like less than an hour before my tour. I got to my hotel room at 6:30 and they were outside ready to pick me up at 7:10. And it's just so gorgeous. It was so beautiful. It was so worth it in so many ways. But today was crazy. I'm literally falling asleep as I'm trying to make this video. But yeah, I already went to the store. I got food for the next couple of days, which is good. I just showered. And now I'm trying to upload a vlog before I just pass out and go to sleep for the day. But thank you guys for coming along. Thank you for the support. Oh, also, thank you for 5,000 subscribers. I'm super happy about that. I'm exhausted, so I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.